Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
Text 15-17. Yathe me avikrita bhavas tatha te vikrite sa nana virya prithar bhuta virajam janiyantihi sannipatya samutpadya drishyante nugata iva prageva vidyamanatvan teshami sambhava evam bhavan buddhiyanu me lakshaner grahayar gunair sannapi tad gunagraha anavritvad bahirantaram nate sarvasya sarvatman atmavastunah. The Mahat Tattva, the total material energy, is undivided. But because of the material modes of nature, it appears to separate into earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Because of the living energy, Jiva Bhuta, these separated energies combine to make the cosmic manifestation visible. But in fact, before the creation of the cosmos, the total energy is already present. Therefore, the total material energy never actually enters the creation. I will read once again. The Mahat Tattva, the total material energy, is undivided. But because of the material modes of nature, it appears to separate into earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Because of the living energy, these separated energies combine to make the cosmic manifestation visible. Okay. But in fact, before the creation of the cosmos, the total energy is already present. Therefore, the total material energy never actually enters the creation. But my mind is said that before cosmos, cosmic energy, what was present is now and will be in the future also. This always absolute is there, this energy. So even after creating of this kind of material energy with this all Panch Tattva, Aniro, Apala, Vayu, Akash, even the combined to make the cosmic manifestation visible, just to see that we can see the something, to feel as a Jiva Tattva. Jiva is, since long is there, but when come in material energy, then actually is separated, is separate. But the creation, the all energy is also present. Before, when the Jiva Mahat Tattva didn't come, even before that. So it is said, this energy, material energy, is not able to change the mood of spiritual energy. Doesn't matter how vast or how big or what type it is. It is not possible. It is not possible for this material world to change something in its spiritual ideas or spiritual energy. Therefore, the total material energy never actually enters the creation. Similarly, although you are perceived by our senses because of your presence, you cannot be perceived by the senses nor experienced by the mind or words, even manasa gochara. With our senses, we can perceive something, but not everything. For example, we can use our eyes to see, but not to taste.
Who is speaking this? Vasudeva to Krishna or Deva to Krishna?
This is, I think, Shukdev Maharaj is saying. Vasudeva is saying, sorry.
Vasudeva to Krishna is saying.
Vasudeva.
So this is Krishna's father saying to Krishna.
Yeah. You understand? Okay. Consequently, you are beyond perception by the senses. Although in touch with the modes of material nature, you are unaffected by them. You are the prime factor in everything, the all-pervading, undivided super soul. For you, therefore, there is no external or internal. You never entered the womb of Devaki. Rather, you existed there already, purport. This same understanding is explained by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, shlok number 4. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matasthani sarva bhutani nachaham tesvavasthita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said that Lord Sri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed, as stated in Brahma Samhita. Premanjana Shrita Bhakti Vilochenenya Santa Sadaiva Hridayesu Vilokiyanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within oneself and outside oneself. If one has developed the transcendental loving attitude toward Him. Thus, for people in general, He is not visible. In the above mentioned verse from Bhagavad Gita, therefore, it is said that although He is all-pervading, everywhere present, is not conceivable by the material senses. But actually, although we cannot see Him, everything is resting in Him. As discussed in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of His two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet one should not conclude that because He is spread all over, He has lost His personal existence. To refute such arguments, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists both in this material world and in the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, he is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energy. One may argue that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who creates the whole cosmic manifestation simply by his glance, cannot come within the womb of Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. To eradicate this argument, Vasudeva said, "My dear Lord, it is not very wonderful that you appeared within the womb of Devaki, for the creation was also made in that way. You were lying in the causal ocean as Mahavishnu, and by your breathing, innumerable universes came into existence. Then you entered into each of the universes as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Then again, you expanded yourself as Shirokadashayi Vishnu and entered into the heart of all living entities and entered even within the atoms. Therefore, your entrance into the womb of Devaki is understandable in the same way. You appear to have entered, but you are simultaneously all pervading. We can understand your entrance and non-entrance from material examples. The total material energy remains intact even after being divided into 16 elements. The material body is nothing but a combination of the 5 gross elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Whenever there is a material body, it appears that such elements are newly created. But actually, the elements are always existing outside of the body. Similarly, although you appear as a child in the womb of Devaki, you are also existing outside. You are always in your abode, but still you can simultaneously expand yourself into millions of forms. One has to understand your appearance with great intelligence because the material energy is also emanating from you. You are the original source of the material energy, just as the sun is the source of the sunshine. The sunshine cannot cover the sun globe, nor can the material energy, being an emanation from you, cover you. You appear to be in the 3 modes of material energy. But actually, the 3 modes of material energy cannot cover you. This is understood by the highly intellectual philosophers. In other words, although you appear to be within the material energy, you are never covered by it. We hear from the Vedic version that the Supreme Brahma exhibits his effulgence, and therefore everything is illuminated. We can understand from Brahma Samhita that the Brahma Jyoti or the Brahma effulgence emanates from the body of the Supreme Lord. And from the Brahma effulgence, all creations takes place. It is further stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is the support of the Brahma effulgence. Originally, he is the root cause of everything. But persons who are less intelligent think that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes within this material world, he accepts material qualities. Such conclusions are not mature, but are made by the less intelligent. Text 18. Ya atmano drishya guneshu sanniti vaivasyate astabhyatirekato buddha vinanuvadam nacha tan manishitam sammag yasastyaktamupadat puman. One who considers his visible body, which is a product of the three modes of nature, to be independent of the soul, is unaware of the basics of existence, and therefore he is a rascal. Those who are learned have rejected his conclusion because one can understand through full discussion that with no basis in soul, the visible body and senses would be insubstantial. Nonetheless, although his conclusion has been rejected, a foolish person considers it a reality. Purport. Without the basic principles of soul, the body cannot be produced. So-called scientists have tried in many ways to produce a living body in their chemical laboratories, but no one has been able to do it because unless the spirit soul is present, a body cannot be prepared from material elements. Since scientists are now enamored of theories about the chemical compositions of the body, we have challenged many scientists to make even a small egg. The chemicals in eggs can be found very easily. There is a white substance and a yellow substance covered by a shell. And modern scientists should very easily be able to duplicate all this. But even if they were to prepare such an egg and put it in an incubator, this man-made chemical egg would not produce a chicken. The soul must be added because there is no question of a chemical combination for life. Those who think that life can exist without the soul have therefore been described here as a Buddha, foolish rascals. Again, there are those who reject the body, regarding it as insubstantial. They are of the same category of fools. One can neither reject the body nor accept it as substantial. The substance is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and both the body and the soul are energy of the Supreme Godhead as described by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, shloka 4 and 5. Bhumir apo nalar vayu kham mano buddhi revacha अहंकार इतियम में भिन्न प्रकृतिर अष्टधा अपरयम इतस्त्व अन्यम प्रकृतिर विद्धि में परम जीवभूतम महाबाहो येदम धार्यते जगत। अर्थ, वाटर, फायर, एयर, ईथर, माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस and false ego. All together, these 8 comprise my separated material energies. But besides this inferior nature, O mighty Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mine which consists of all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. The body, therefore, has a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as the soul does, since both of them are energies of the Lord. Neither of them is false because they come from the reality. One who doesn't know this secret of life is described as a Buddha. According to the Vedic injunctions, Aitadatyam idam sarvam, sarvam khalv idam brahma. Everything is the Supreme Brahma. Therefore, both the body and the soul are Brahma. Since matter and spirit emanate from Brahma. Not knowing the conclusions of the Vedas, some people accept the material nature as substance, and others accept the spirit soul as substance. But actually, Brahma is the substance. Brahma is the cause of all causes. The ingredients and the immediate cause of this manifested material world are Brahma. And we cannot make the ingredients of this world independent of Brahma. Furthermore, since the ingredients and the immediate cause of this material manifestations are Brahma, both of them are truth, Satya. There is no validity to the expression Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The world is not false. Jnanis reject this world and foolish persons accept this world as reality. And in this way, they are both misguided. Although the body is not as important as the soul, we cannot say that it is false. Yet the body is temporary, and only foolish, materialistic persons who do not have full knowledge of the soul regard the temporary body as a reality and engage in decorating this body. Both of these pitfalls, rejection of the body as false and acceptance of the body as all in all, can be avoided when one is fully situated in Krishna consciousness. If we regard this world as false, we fall into the category of asuras who say that this world is unreal, with no foundation and no God in control. Asatyam apratishtam te jagat sur anishwaram. As described in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is the conclusions of demons. Text 19. Tvatto asya janma sthiti sanyaman vibho vadanti nihad gunad vikriyat tvaishware brahmani no viruddhyate tvadasrit vadu pacharyate gunahe. Translation. O my Lord, learned Vedic scholars conclude that the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the entire cosmic manifestation are performed by you, who are free from endeavor, unaffected by the modes of material nature, and changeless in your spiritual situation. There are no contradictions in you, who are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Param Brahma. Because the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, are under your control, everything takes place automatically. Purport. As stated in the Vedas, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, na tat samas cha bhayadhikas cha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate, swabhavaki jnanena bala kriya cha. The Supreme Lord has nothing to do, and no one is found to be equal to or greater than him. For everything is done naturally and systematically by his multifarious energies. Creation, maintenance, and annihilations are all conducted personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Maya dakshina prakritirse suyate cha characharam. Yet ultimately, the Lord does not need to do anything, and therefore he is nirvikara, changeless, because everything is done under his direction. He is called Srishti Karta, the master of creation. Similarly, he is the master of annihilation. When a master sits in one place while his servants work in different duties, whatever the servants are doing is ultimately an activity of the master. Although he is doing nothing, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. The Lord's potencies are so numerous that everything is nicely done. Therefore, he is naturally still and is not directly the doer of anything in this material world. Text 20. Swatvam trilokisthite swamayaya viparsi shuklam sklu varnamatmanah sargaya raktam rajosopa bring hitam krishnam cha varnam tamsa janatye. My Lord, your form is transcendental to the three material modes. Yet, for the maintenance of the three worlds, you assume the white collar of Vishnu in goodness for creation, which is surrounded by the quality of passion. You appear reddish, and at the end, when there is a need for annihilation, which is surrounded by ignorance, you appear blackish. Purport. Vasudeva prayed to the Lord. You are called Shuklam. Shuklam, or whiteness, is the symbolic representation of the absolute truth because it is unaffected by the material qualities. Lord Brahma is called Rakta, or red, because Brahma represents the qualities of passion for creation. Darkness is entrusted to Lord Shiva because he annihilates the cosmos. The creation, annihilation, and maintenance of these cosmic manifestations are conducted by your potencies. Yet, you are always unaffected by those qualities. As confirmed in the Vedas, Harirhi Nirgunaha Sakshat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always free from all material qualities. It is also said that the qualities of passion and ignorance are non-existent in the persons of the Supreme Lord. In this verse, the three colors mentioned, Shukla, Rakta, and Krishna, are not to be understood literally in terms of what we experience with our senses, but rather as representatives of Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. After all, sometimes we see that a duck is white, although it is in Tamo Guna, the mode of ignorance, illustrating the logic called Bakandanaya. The duck is such a fool that it runs after the testicles of a bull, thinking them to be a hanging fish that can be taken when it drops. Thus, the duck is always in darkness. Vyasadeva, however, the compiler of the Vedic literature, is blackish, but this does not mean that he is in Tamoguna. Rather, he is in the highest position of Sattvaguna, beyond the material modes of nature. Sometimes these colors, Shukla, Raktas, Tatha, Pitta, are used to designate the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Lord Kshirogadakshai Vishnu is celebrated as possessing a blackish color. Lord Shiva is whitish and the Lord Brahma is reddish. But according to Srila Sanatana Goswami in the Vaishnava Toshni Tika, this exhibitions of colors is not what is referred to here. The real understanding of Shukla, Rakta, and Krishna is as follows. The Lord is always transcendental, but for the sake of creation, he assumes the color Rakta as Lord Brahma. Again, sometimes the Lord becomes angry, as he says in Bhagavad Gita, Tan aham dvisatah krunan samsaresu naradaman shipamay ajasaram asudhan asurisva eva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. To destroy the demons, the Lord becomes angry, and therefore he assumes the form of Lord Shiva. In summary, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always beyond the material qualities, and we should not be misled into thinking otherwise simply because of sense perception. One must understand the position of Lord through the authorities or Mahajanas, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Ita Chamsa Kalaha Pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavana Swayam. Text 21. Tomasya lokasya vibhor irakshusu grihevati rinovasi mamikhileshwara Rajanya Sangya Surkoti Pratikpay Rajanya Sangya Surkoti Yutapai Nirbhyamana Nihnishya Chamu. O my Lord, proprietor of all creation, you have now appeared in my house, desiring to protect this world. I am sure that you will kill all the armies that are moving all over the world under the leaderships of politicians who are dressed like Kshatriya rulers, but who are actually demons. They must be killed by you for the protections of the innocent public. Purport. Krishna appears in this world for two purposes. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam. To protect the innocent religious devotees of the Lord and to annihilate all the uneducated, uncultured asuras who unnecessarily bark like dogs and fight among themselves for political power. It is said, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. The Hare Krishna movement is also an incarnation of Krishna in the form of the holy name. Every one of us who is actually afraid of the Asuric rulers and politicians must welcome this incarnation of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we will surely be protected from the harassment of Asuric rulers. At the present moment, these rulers are so powerful that by hook or by crook, they capture the highest posts in government and harass countless numbers of people on the plea of national security or some emergency. Then again, one asura defeats another asura, but the public continues to suffer. Therefore, the entire world is in a precarious conditions, and the only hope is this Hare Krishna movement. Lord Narasimhadeva appeared when Prahlada was excessively harassed by his Asuric father. Because of such Asuric fathers, that is, the ruling politicians, it is very difficult to press forward the Hare Krishna movement. But because Krishna has now appeared in his holy name through this movement, we can hope that these Asuric fathers will be annihilated and the kingdom of God established all over the world. The entire world is now full of many asuras, is the guise of politicians, gurus, sadhus, yogis, and incarnations, and they are misleading the general public away from Krishna consciousness, which can offer true benefit to human society. Text 22. Ayam to sambhayastava janmano grihe sutvagrajanste nevadhit sureshwara sate avataram purushai samarpitam srutva dhuneva visarati yudha. Oh my Lord.
You read Sanskrit.
You
read Sanskrit?
Yeah. Oh my Lord, Lord of the demigods, after hearing the prophecy that you would take birth in our home and kill him, this uncivilized Kamsa killed so many of your elder brothers. As soon as he hears from his lieutenants that you have appeared, he will immediately come with weapons to kill you. Kamsa has here been described as asabhya, meaning uncivilized or most heinous, because he killed the many children of his sister. When he heard the prophecy that he would be killed by her eighth son, this uncivilized man, Kamsa, was immediately ready to kill his innocent sister on the occasion of her marriage. An uncivilized man can do anything for the satisfaction of his senses. He can kill children, he can kill cows, he can kill brahmanas, he can kill old men. He has no mercy for anyone. According to the Vedic civilization, cows, women, children, old men, and brahmanas should be excused if they are at fault. But asuras, uncivilized men, do not care about that. at the present moment, the killing of cows and the killing of children is going on unrestrictedly, and therefore this civilization is not at all human, and those who are conducting this condemned civilization are uncivilized asuras. Such uncivilized men are not in favor of the Krishna consciousness movement. As public officers, they declare without hesitation that the chanting of the Hare Krishna movement is a nuisance, although Bhagavad Gita clearly says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantas Cha Didhavrata. According to this verse, it is the duty of the Mahatmas to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and try to spread it all over the world to the best of their ability. Unfortunately, society is in such an uncivilized state that there are so-called Mahatmas who are prepared to kill cows and children and stop the Hare Krishna movement. Such uncivilized activities were actually demonstrated in opposition to the Hare Krishna movement's Bombay Center. Hare Krishna land, as Kamsa was not expected to kill the beautiful child of Devaki and Vasudeva, the uncivilized society, although unhappy about the advancement of the Krishna consciousness movement, cannot be expected to stop it. Yet we must face many difficulties in many different ways. Although Krishna cannot be killed, Vasudeva, as the father of Krishna, was trembling because in affection he thought that Kamsa would immediately come and kill his son. Similarly, although the Krishna consciousness movement and Krishna are not different and no asuras can check it, we are afraid that at any moment the asuras can stop this movement in any part of the world. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda